Marshals Victor and Oudinot have been given the task of re-establishing the Dvina line and must assault the town of Smoliani to retake it and hold the Dvina line to allow Napoleon to re-establish his base at Minsk and reassemble the Grande Armee so it may reassault Russia in the spring. But before the Victor and Oudinot can do that, they must take down Wittgenstein and his Russian army. And yes, it is going to be one brutal historical battle for you here today, guys. And it is probably one of the greatest snack-worthy and drink-worthy games we have ever covered. And we did this one just this week. This is coming out. This was the Monday night stream, and I felt like I could not sit on this replay for too long. I could not let you guys miss out on this one. It is honestly one of the greatest battles we have done. It goes back and forth, and there's an incredible ending. Generally, like, you should stick around to the end to see how this one goes down. It is just a brilliant game. We have had a little bit of an engagement already, it seems. It looks like, I think it's these hussars back here, these Floyd hussars. They did get routed. I think they were taking on like a light cav that was trying to push across the river. They slowed down the advance and allowed these militia to get into place. We now have some militia here for the Russians getting into place to try and hold up this French column. And I mean, looks glorious. I won't admit, the French columns come forward like in their 3x3. Look awesome, and there's but even more of them actually crossing over here as well. We got light infantry here, and yeah, a bunch more light infantry. I think this is all Victor's corps. Oudinot's corps is quite easy to identify because they have a French and a like Swiss flag integrated into one thing. It looks very, very cool. And here we got a charge going in. Got some more hussars going in. They don't form squares with the French, maybe they can't. And there you go. In go the hussars. And what a brilliant start to this fight this has been. Generally have not had to even like fast forward. Often in videos, you've got to fast forward quite a bit to get to the start of this battle. This is generally just from minute one we have gone. And this is a great start. It really is. It's a brilliant start to a brilliant historical scenario. I mean, this battle, historically, the Russians do win. It's a Russian victory. The French managed to actually push back the Russians from their initial positions here outside Smoliani, which is where I'm holding right now with my huge Russian lines. We've got all these 30i Morskoi. They are blasting these light infantry. Look at the bodies in the river here. That's brutal. I didn't realize they could cross here, so I was kind of caught unawares. Set up a bunch of units and we started blasting. The French are running for their lives. Right move there by the French. They shouldn't have carried on pushing that. It was never going to work. But I have to wait 5 minutes and play 5 minutes of this battle on my own before any of the French, like the rest of the Russians, could arrive. And I'm in a 2v1. There is another French force arriving over here with a whole bunch of Polish lancers. Actually, these aren't Poles. These are just some regular lancers, but lancers there. So I'm kind of getting squished, and I have to stand my ground. I cannot leave this position. That's the rules of the objective. I have to, like the rules of the scenario. I have to stand my ground. Then I'm allowed to retreat if I want to. But instead, we decided to go ahistorical, and the Russians are going to be arriving. We've got a whole bunch more corps over here. We've got a Tomasov, we got another Wittgenstein, and we do have a Tuchkov as well, which is basically just a grenadier spam, which is going to be great to see.
Captured a building, sir.
And yeah, the plan was actually to try and hold this position. We weren't going to try to hold that town that we've just seen there. That's Smoliani that we, well, in the scenario anyway, it's Smoliani. It's not actually a Smoliani map. But for this scenario, it kind of works quite nicely. And here we go, France actually charging in. He's actually charging uphill, charging quite away. Getting himself tied out. He's got some Chevaliers. They look like they might be Saxon Chevaliers. In go the Hussars. They're going to get side-shotted here by Strelky. And then in goes the Cav here as well. Dragoons going in against Lancers. Russian Dragoons should win that fight there. Might not win that other one. There you go, the Cavalry. They win that one. They need to get out of that fight to the Hussars. And they've won that one as well. Nice, nice, nice. Infantry here blasting away some of these French infantry as well. Excellent stuff. The Cav over here actually did lose. The Lancers here defeated that little Hussar unit. I already routed once. It was doomed. And yeah, I've got a whole bunch of reserves, but I was really worried he was going to come from my general, who is also a Wittgenstein. So we have 2 11 points and 2 8 points on either side in this one. So I think that's for like 38 points. So that's what we have on either side in this one. So yeah, we have 2 Oudinots, 2 Victors, And then we have, yeah, 2 Wittgensteins and a Tuchkov and a Tomasov. So both evenly matched on points, which I feel like is fair, because I feel like, certainly feel like the Tuchkov, especially, even though it's an 8-point, it's kind of just bring a lot of expensive grenadiers, and that's all you do. I mean, another cav fight that took place on this other side here. Another little Cossack here of mine dying. I'm actually desperately running out of cav at this moment. I was like crapping myself. I was like, guys, I don't have enough cavalry to defend my guns and also Wittgenstein here. We're going to be in a bit of trouble very, very soon. I've sent out some of my line infantry to kind of block the road and stop the cav from maybe coming up the road. Most of my Morsky, actually, these ones can't form squares. Some of them can, though. It's kind of a bit hit and miss on which ones can. And the cav over here, I've kind of pushed them back, and I think that's their advanced guard. Luckily, more Russian cav is arriving now. We've got Cossacks now arriving, and they could maybe block any sort of French advance coming up this road here. But yes, the objective in today's game for the Battle of Smoliani is to take this 4-point back here. And as I was saying, in history, it was a Russian victory. Doesn't have to be today. We can have any, the players just a given like cause and like an objective and sort of like a, maybe an angle of an advance they've got to take, but that is all it comes through historical limitations. They can go and win the game as French, and we do try and balance the historical scenario so everyone has a chance of winning. We don't rig a game so, you know, like the Russians are meant to win. For instance, the French very much have the chance of winning. They're obviously making, I wouldn't say hard work of it, but they've got a hard start, that's for sure. I mean, going uphill here and having to cross a river, this is, I think the extra troops that were trying to push across this part of the river, they've now shifted to help over here. This is all 1 Victor Corps. I thought this was 2. I was like, this is absolutely massive force here. I was like, I'm getting 2v1'd already. I was like, my infantry. But actually, the other Victor army is over here. It is now arriving. As you can see, you've got a bit of infantry now arriving. Some Leger appearing from the mist. So yeah, I was like, oh my gosh, guys, I need you here soon. Because, yeah, Victor is actually a pretty capable 8-pointer. You can bring quite a lot of French troops, a lot of allied troops, and looking at some of them, they look pretty useful actually, to be honest. I think Cav's kind of where Vic's limited, but in this scenario, in this sort of like setting that we've got ourselves into here, not a bad place to have minimal Cav, to be honest. But yeah, he's pushing forward here. I mean, my militia doing a great job, I'd just like to say, of holding this line. And they're big units, to be honest. I was really impressed with them so far. I mean, some of them are taking a battering, but some of these guys, yeah, like, seem pretty healthy. I wish I brought more of them, to be honest. The militia are actually, yeah, a great cheap unit. And not bad in morale stats, to be honest, for a militia unit. It's just that they're super slow. They're being like L3s. Yeah, they're pretty just slow, to be honest. And the artillery here just still pounding away, trying to hit the flanks of these French units here. Cavalry is shifting forward. That's definitely going for my guns, and I actually react pretty quickly. I was like, I'm going to shift this Morse across. I'll just block the path of the guns and just dare see if they even come for it. But yes, in history, Victor and Oudinot actually were criticized by Napoleon since they did lose this battle. Napoleon was criticized them both, and academics criticized them as well. That they made a pretty just frontal assault. Had no real intuition in this battle, and they just kind of made a head-on assault towards Smoliani. Didn't try and flank around the building, like around the town, try and deal with it that way. We've got a cav charge. Actually, the cav did go in there. Didn't really do too much. It's going to get swarmed here by a dragoon unit, and the dragoon should get rid of it. It has routed a bunch of these like levy units, but it should return pretty quickly. And the Morsky there firing to flanks. The cav needs to get out of there pretty sharpish. Ruins there being captured. But yes, Victor and Oudinot had very little intuition. Maybe that's because they didn't really want to actually, you know, stay and fight in Russia any longer, or whether it's because of the conditions they were in. I mean, we're not actually fighting in the snowy sort of battlefield. I couldn't find one exactly perfect for that. But this is the middle of November as this battle's being fought, so yeah, conditions in Russia weren't great. So you kind of have to imagine there's a lot of snow on this battlefield. That's the only thing that's kind of missing from this. Otherwise, it's a pretty good recreation of the battle. That'd be one thing I'd wish the devs would do. It's obviously will never happen, and I would expect it never to happen as well. But you know, we get a map for every single historical battle. That would be great, and then I could complete my dream of having completed every single Napoleonic battle, recreating it on NTW 3. For now, I have to use custom battles as well, custom maps as well as some actual real custom, like some maps they made themselves, like Waterloo, and all the biggies are covered, and some smaller ones. But yeah, custom maps for most of the minor engagements. So this is not a minor engagement. It's about 30,000 troops on either side. The French slightly at a disadvantage. They may have had nearer towards 25,000, but yeah, it's still a big battle, really, at the grand scheme of things here. And now I'm making my retreat. I was like, yep, we've spent too much time here. I'm getting my guns up the hill. But luckily, as you can see, we have got a Tomasov arriving now on my right flank, ready to, looks like, face off against the French here. It looks like this Cav, is this Cav going in? This Dragoon is going to charge in. They are, I was going to say, they all probably formed square. Actually, though, they didn't. That might be a nice kill there, actually, for the Russians. Getting a nice little kill with the cavalry, the Yitomir, maybe, actually. But anyway, and then on my other flank, on my left, the other, well, Tomasov's here, and also Tuchkov's here with some Cossacks. I don't know why he's all the way over here, but Wittgenstein is here as well. So yeah, we're getting all the corps now arriving. This is huge, and my Dragoons having to go in here and stop the light Cav. I think they're going to more likely to run. I think because that infantry flank there, that was the only reason why. But I had to save my my infantry from retreating, and also just save the guns. But yeah, more Cav arriving, more Lancers here. Where they're going to set up, we'll see. They might go in. Yeah, looks like actually that it looked like a pretty decent Laguerre actually, and they just got routed for free there. Got pushed up so far, and the Cossacks there, the Yitomir, they got back. They lost like 10 guys. Not a bad result for them actually. Artillery now setting up into position. Just needs to just replace Logan off here in the center lines. Yeah, this is the line we're kind of holding now. Not really using the forest because it kind of then the ground starts to dip down a little bit more. And as you can see, you can start the flank on the left here. As the French don't have troops set up here, try and flank around. Try and turn their left, make them maybe feel about falling back. But yeah, my line infantry has got able to take a line fight with the Frenchies. These poor Russians, they are suffering. But yes, if you want to see more NTW3 on the channel, if you're enjoying the Napoleonic chaos and want to see more historical battles, more custom games, do remember to leave a like, subscribe if you're around here as well, and feel free to hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any streams or videos. And if you're enjoying the content, do let me know in the comments as well. Comments always help out, with the old algorithm, stuff like that, and every little bit does help the channel. And yeah, on a Monday, I was going to say, while you hit the notification bell, on a Monday, every Monday, we do a stream, as we have a storm here of the Laguerre, this storm, and it looks like they're going to try to take that Strelki out. Wow, we missed that. The Cav here, this is actually Oudinot's Cav, struck and took out my guns, and Tomasov was so late to the game. My light Cav here, the light Cav here could have saved my guns, but it was to no avail. Instead, my infantry here, back in the forest, has helped save the day, basically, and stop that. But I have no guns here, which would have been great to hold on to, just to get blasting into the French line. Maybe, I mean, in fairness, maybe I could have shifted it more down this front line, so the French have to make gaps in the line instead of just putting it on the edge. Might have been better. But look at that, we're setting some of these French packing. These concentrated volleys doing some decent job. Wittgenstein went in here with a Hussar again, and looks like they formed square with some Wettenberg troops and repelled the advance there. But we're getting more lights arriving now from Tomasov, and guns actually. We've got guns set up here, some 6-pounders. They might be able to pound into the Wettenberg troops and the French. So falling back a little bit to give the guns a bit more area to fire and blast onto the French there, which is very good. And you can see the French actually falling back on their left as they realise the Russians are pushing forward there on that left-hand flank. We have Tomasov over here setting up against, it looks like the other Victor army, which has arrived with their pristine units, as you can see in their pristine uniforms. But it looks like a horse artillery, I think, as well, setting up, or maybe a foot artillery, it might be one or the other. Setting up in there, but yeah, look at all these pristine Frenchies, still ready to go in. And he looks like, again, another light Cav, again going in, and again, not well protected here. You can see Tomasov again, not really protecting his guns, and yeah, even though it's the Yitomir, they did not make it there in time. I mean, it looks like they managed to ride the Cav. But guns are more important. In a good line fight like this, especially for the Russians, who are definitely second to best in the line fight. I say that as this one's winning slightly, but typically, I'd say most of the units in a line fight, France is going to have better stats. Absolutely. We have got Wittgenstein over here. Looks like he's pinning down, I'd say, a small amount of Victor troops here. I don't think this is a full army, or even near a full army. So all these troops here, it's a bit overkill. They should send more this way, and then just start to push on the left, and then try and wrap up this line here. I think Tuchkov is arriving. Yeah, Tuchkov's arriving with the Grenadiers now. The Pavlov Grenadiers, which is great to see. The iconic Grenadiers with their fun hats. Do love them. They're technically a Guards unit, I think. We've got Strelki holding this building. I didn't realize some of the Strelki for Russian corps are actually Grenadier skirmishers. They're actually decent in melee as well. So actually them in the building, they've got a decent rate of fire, good accuracy, well, relatively good accuracy, and also good range. And they're really hounding the flank here of this, probably this, I think that's a Berenberg unit. It's only an allied German unit, it might be Würzburg or something. But they're shooting into the flank of that. And if they try and storm this building here, the French, they actually might get pushed out because, it's, like I said, it's a Grenadier unit technically. So very cool asset for the Russians, that's for sure. You can see the Russian lines actually kind of pushing the French back. The French are definitely in retreat. I mean, they were initially along this road, as you can see where the bodies are. They've fallen back and they're a bit more on an angle now. But they are taking out Russian units still, as you can see here. Look, the Tula. They're dead. More Russian infantry, though, ready to go into the line. The third eye in Morskoy. Don't know why they differentiate from a line infantry unit. Maybe they are just like, someone could tell me. I'd be interested to know. Someone that knows better about the Russian military this time. But the Morskoy, I don't know if it's like what type of unit it is really. I presume it's just a line infantry unit, or maybe like it's not a Grenadier unit. It's not down as a Grenadier. It's just, oh no, it is. It is a Grenadier. It's a G3. It's a Grenadier unit. So maybe it's like an engineer or something? I'm not sure. Someone will probably tell me and give me more knowledge on the unit. You can get quite a lot of them for good, cheap amounts. And there you go, French Cav just getting blasted on the flank there. I think it was just patiently waiting there to do something. And the Morskoy again, blasted into oblivion. And this is concerning here for the Russians. We have cuirassiers available. So evidently some of these guys must have survived the Borodino campaign and the Russian campaign, and they've been kitted out by Oudinot here. I imagine really in history they didn't probably have cuirassiers, you could, but yes, in this scenario, since we use the full Oudinot corps, we have them here. There you go, they're taking out these Strelki, are the light cav here. They are going to get blasted by the militia. But the Strelki should have pushed out a bit further if they wanted to not get shot in the back. I think they might be shot in the back, but they're going to get routed here. I was going to say the militia are probably going to blast this full light cav. Might route it. Yep, there you go, route it. That's not a good trade really for France. Light cav for a Strelki? I wouldn't say that was a great trade. The Strelki definitely probably cost less than that light cav did. And it looks like we've got an Oudinot maybe starting to appear on the flank here. Some more light cav appearing. This is possibly a sign that another, yeah, here you go, Oudinot's core infantry is just starting to arrive here as well. So it looks like this Tomasov is going to get outpointed. I don't know if this is a full 8 here, but it's certainly part of an 8. And then there's an 11 arriving. So I'd certainly say the Russians are out of position when it comes to points. And looking back on it now, we definitely are. This Wittgenstein over here is a whole 11. Most of an 11 here, looking at definitely not a whole 8. Maybe what you call a 4, maybe. But yeah, my 11, I am absolutely pounding this 8 pointer here. I mean, my infantry, it's definitely not as good as shooting, I'd say, but there's just so much of it. I'm literally from the ruins almost to the lake here. And we're just blasting these poor Frenchies, and you can see redlining. A lot of them, you know, kind of screwed over here. But yeah, not bad at all. Not bad at all for now. And finally, Tuchkov has arrived as well with all of his grenadiers. Kind of hard to differentiate them from the generic Russian line infantry. But you got the Grenadiers St. Petersburg. They're a good grenadier unit, actually. I think the Arakcheyev, I think they're worse. St. Petersburg again, and another Arakcheyev. I think they're pretty cheap, those ones. We've got Grenadiers, Lifeguards back here. So these are guard units. I don't think there were really guards in the battle, but it works. It's fine. It doesn't really matter too much. Wittgenstein might have had elements, he might not have. The Tavrida, I don't think that's an expensive one either. The Lifeguard ones, and certainly the Pavlov Grenadiers. They're the best ones for sure. Yeah, this Tomasov kind of just stood here taking the ground. I mean, really, we should probably shift the troops towards him. Maybe could have made an advance along here, maybe like around the ruins, try to force back Victor. Maybe just to try and, you know, coax Oudinot out. But yeah, Oudinot is on the advance. Not really exactly getting really into line, but I mean, this Russian player here was really, I mean, watching the live, was constantly worried about his line. Like, I mean, end of the day, you don't have to straight. You can leave gaps in the line. Leave some small gaps. He hasn't got guns or exactly to position to defend. If he's feeling like he's getting overstretched by units, just don't have a long, thin line. Like, NTW3 doesn't work like vanilla. You don't have to... I know I am on this side, long, thin lining. Like, I do have a long, long line. And I've just mentioned this. But you don't have to. If you're getting, like... If you think, like, as you can see over here, Oudinot is possibly... He's going to outflank. You can see the Swiss back there. They are shifting around those ruins towards that cav. Easiest thing to do. I mean, he is shifting infantry down. Some Niagara, they might make it in time. But just shift some infantry, make a gap. What's he going to do, the French? Just try and go through the gap with infantry alone? He's got cav to counter that. So I feel like they're in a decent position. While we've been looking at that, St. Petersburg Grenadiers went in, barely made a dent. Barely made a dent. So that's a bit of a shame to see with a very expensive Grenadier unit going in. We've got more Grenadiers ready to go in, but not exactly yet making a big push. Again, oh, here we go. The cuirassiers have gone in. In they go. They're trying to take out the militia. They might just do it, you know. Got squares formed from the Pavlos Grenadiers. Holding the line. Hold the center, boys. And they rout the cuirassiers. Excellent stuff there. Militia held strong. And they helped rout those guys. That cuirassier might return. To be honest. I don't think it's in bad numbers. It just got routed due to morale. You can see other infantry formations falling back as well. This Russian line holding strong. And a unit has used all available ammunition. My militia have been firing the entire game and have burned through their ammo. I think that is one of the downsides by bringing a militia. They have less ammo than the typical line infantry, but still insane. I rarely see that happen in a game, but you fire that fighting that long. Incredible stuff. And here you go. Yeah, now Victor on this flank here was very much. I mean, he's got some big formations here. I feel like that's some huge units. They would not be that big historically. At this point, like I said, by mid-November, French army isn't looking so hot. Though Oudinot's corps, I think, was kind of held as a reserve. So actually, Oudinot's corps might be in a good condition. It was kind of held as a reserve and then shifted up to support the Dvina line. I don't think it made the offense. Or maybe I'm thinking of Victor's. Maybe I'm getting mixed up. But one of these corps, I'm pretty sure it might be Victor's actually. Yeah, it might be Victor's that was held as a reserve and was actually in decent condition. Didn't actually make the advance on Moscow. And here you go. We've got the Grenadiers going in here. Tuchkov going in. He should rout this unit on a one-on-one. These Grenadier units like absolutely smash it. I got told as well that Russian melee, like the Russian melee stats are +2 when they go into the game. So if you have if you look in the lobby, like a unit that's 12 melee attack, apparently, I don't know if this is true, someone can tell me if I'm wrong, but apparently it then goes to 14 at +2 in once you get engaged. If that's true, that's insane. And I don't know why they don't just sort that out and just give you the real stats. But that's kind of crazy. We do actually have Oudinot troops over here. We have the Swiss over here, which is kind of what, yeah, most of Oudinot's corps made up of. Swissmen. Swiss men? Just Swiss. Probably quite confusing for the Russians because they're fighting redcoats and they're probably like, I thought the British were on our side. They're not Brits. They are in fact Swiss. And here you go, that Grenadiers continued. It's going to get side-shot here, but I think the Russians are charging in. Yeah, they're sending in more. There's a bit of an all-out assault going on here. And the Russians look like they should probably do quite well in this. Like I said, melee is their thing. I mean, the French are good in melee as well, but the Russians, they're like the master to the French being a Padawan in a melee sort of area. And certainly, I think certainly a lot of Victor's units, a lot of provisional units, a lot of allied troops aren't necessarily as great meleeing. And as you can see here, the Russians are just running riot. And I don't know how good the Swiss are in melee. I haven't really I mean, they're squaring. Actually, there you go. The Russians rout there in that one. So there you go. Yes, the Russian offensive here has been stemmed. It looks like some of the Russians might get back to friendly lines. Looks like other ones are not going to be so lucky. But the French, they get a bit of a mauling there. And the Russian line, like the main line falls back. The Grenadiers also, yeah, falling back in pretty good order as well. Yeah, look, there's like St. Petersburg, seem like they're returning. And yeah, some of these other line infantry also look like they're falling back as well. In good order. Over here, Tomasov is still in a little bit of bother. As you see the line infantry, the light infantry here, stretching out. They could probably stretch out a little bit more if they wanted to. But there's more Oudinot Swiss flanking around. And to be honest, there's plenty more reserves that Oudinot could just keep flanking around with if he wanted to. Having lost his guns as well, Tomasov, he can't use those to sort of just sit in the middle of his lines and try and pound the French, try and even up this. And the stretch of the French are barely having to stretch out. They can just sort of sit. They're sitting in their blocks quite nicely, blasting away. And they are certainly using their guns to great effect. German allied artillery, I think these guys are. They're just putting good old holes into the Russians. Just having a stand here. The French aren't even engaged in this whole portion of the line. And these guys could be elsewhere, helping out. I mean, I've even got one of my Morse over here to try and help just defend the building, basically. Just hang around that. And yeah, look at this. I mean, the Swiss are in all sorts of trouble by the looks of it. They are getting absolutely hammered right now by the Wittgenstein reinforcements which have arrived here. Yeah, lots of Niger starting to arrive, trying to blast their way through. And we've got a big old column moving up here. I think this is, yeah, this is the assault column that is a unique thing for the Oudinot Corps. So it's a huge grenadier formation that's been set up. I'm excited to see where that goes in. That'll be very, very exciting. What else have we got back here? We've got some Swiss Grenadiers as well getting ready. So I wonder whether these two formations we've just seen here are going to unite together. Well, it's just some German allied infantry. Don't think they're going to be doing much of the pushing when it comes to melee. And oh boy, it looks like, yeah, the Cuirassiers went in. I don't think they actually achieved a lot. I mean, they didn't like actually. They knocked out a couple of units here, but Russia can fall back in pretty good order. Russia, though, is now just sending in his dragoons. Just wildly. There's no need to send these guys in, but they yet charging in. I mean, they're getting thinned a little bit, but they just didn't need to charge in. Yeah, he's charged them in just foolishly. He's going to just lose them. Just fall back in good order. Like, you don't need to just throw things in willy-nilly. And now the French are charging in. You can see the Russians here. Russian player not microing enough. He's going to lose a whole bunch of his troops here in a melee fight. And he otherwise should have been able to get out. Like, all he has to do is like, you know, box up, retreat, right. But yeah, he's not. And you can see the Russians here, they're gonna, it looks like they might get caught. I don't know, he's sending, yeah, the Dragoons there going, sending in. We've got another Dragoon unit. Again, looks like it's just been thrown in. Why? What are you achieving with this? You're gonna rout these French. The French can probably form square in quite a lot of places. Yep, there you go, form square. It's actually the Beneberg troops forming square to save the day there. Well, you're not achieving anything from that. And now you should pull them out. Now you need to pull these guys out. But instead, he's redlining. And he looks like he's going to get routed because, yeah, the French are getting ready for a side shot. They are kind of getting melee themselves. There you go, they routed anyway. Didn't even need it. Didn't even need the side shot. So, yeah, a great waste of the cavalry here from the Russian player. He has managed to turn this flank a little bit, and Tomasov is actually very open to being killed off by French infantry. Yeah, there you go. The collapse of the Russian right flank has begun. And it was pretty easy, actually. The French barely lost anything, really, in that sort of engagement. Just blasted their way through. And yeah, Russian player also just sacrifices a bunch of stuff that he just did not need to sacrifice. While that was going on, though, Russia has made a bit more of an offensive. The Lifeguard Grenadiers going in. I think France kind of made it was both a bit of a joint offensive as such. Both Grenadiers moved forward, and also both sides, as you can see here, Swiss and Russian ones both got sent in. And it looks like the French putting kind of being held in place. There goes the assault column. They're getting ready to go in. They're going to get pinned by Russian Grenadiers. Lifeguard Grenadiers going in. Certainly Lifeguard Grenadiers by the looks of it. And they rout one of the Grenadiers here. They just need to keep blasting these guys. The Pavlov Grenadiers also getting sent forward here. Where they're going to get actually sent in. We'll see. It looks like they are. They're going to get sent in to try and deal with this column. While this is all going on, yeah, the Russian right's breaking. And we were like, man, we just need like a couple more minutes. And we've got this flank. We've got them on the run. There you go, the elites. Both sides going in, you could argue. I mean, I don't know. This huge column, it's pretty expensive. I guess it's pretty scary. It's a big old grenadier unit. Certainly the elites for the Russians, though, the Pavlov grenadiers. But look at that. This flank is fully gone for the French here. It's been absolutely shattered. I mean, there's like some of Victor's troops over here just being a pain, but yeah, really not achieving a lot being there. So now we need to start thinking about retreating because yeah, the Russian right, as you can see, is being turned in. The French actually have a straight shot for Smoliani if they wanted to go for it. They can start sending troops there. We've got some of the cavalry returning, which is good for the Russians because they're going to need these dragoons, keep them intact. Again, Russian cav just kind of being charged in again by Tomasov. This one might actually achieve something with the Cossacks here. It looks like he might get these Carabiniers, but which would be a good result if he does. Nope, maybe not. Prolonged melee. Yeah, he's actually going to get routed himself. Again, bit of a waste of a cav unit. Sappers here as well. Got some good units being held in reserve. Cossacks, Grasses are getting ready to go in. And here we go. Tomasov in the line with his lights here, hiding in the forest. I think he's about to get charged here by heavy cav. He's certainly getting dueled with French infantry here. But yeah, right now the French have the Russians in an incredible spot. They have them actually partially encircled, as you can see here. The red is the French. The French, all they have to do is keep pushing their left flank around. They can almost encircle the entire Russian line. They just need to keep speeding. Like these Oudinot troops here just need to keep moving and keep going wide and then catch the entire Russian army encircled. And they cut them off from their objective, Yellow Sea back there. So yeah, this could be incredible. Yeah, what will the French do? Will they go for the objective? Will they go for the army annihilation? Right now, as you can see, Tuchkov and the two Wittgensteins are now falling back with what they have left. I'm pretty bad at this point. I've been in this front line for ages. A lot of these bodies over here, littered, are mine and also Tuchkov's. We've been in a bloody brawl, we really have, both in line and also in melee. And yeah, both of us have paid the price. I mean, but also this Victor Corps is really banged up. And also elements of Oudinot's corps over here as well, also in a really bad shape. So yeah, it's kind of coming down to this Victor army over here and this Oudinot army. And one of the Wittgensteins, and possibly Tuchkov. We'll have to see whether he can get out. Tomasov is pretty much, not smashed, but he's pretty badly mauled. And right now he's trying to hold this line for us, for holding our line of retreat to get us out of here. He's getting absolutely pounded. Looks like he's trying to retreat. He should not be pulling back just yet. And also, if you're going to fall back through the forest, you're going to fall back over here, then in this direction. But honestly, I don't think he's getting out of here. He's the front line. The French move quicker than the Russians as well, in most aspects. But yes, this forest fight continues. Both sides blasting away. Actually, you know, like they do okay with the actually pretty well. They're really, like, you know, bruising up some of these French formations. They're also taking some pretty nasty shots as well. And they're actually advancing towards the French. Like, he's falling back. I mean, in fairness, he's in a forest. You can't see what he's doing. He's actually advancing into the French. Yeah, just Tomasov had the player playing for Tomasov had a bad game. Really bad game. And yeah, what's he doing? Wittgenstein actually sitting in. This is Wittgenstein and Tomasov sitting in. Cossacks running through his own men. This is not going to help. Cossacks trying to go in and try to pin the sappers in place. The light infantry here, that's going to rout. That's going to be routing the Cossacks as well. And they're actually just blasting into this mess with his friend Orfo. The French don't care. In go the Cuirassiers. They might get lost in the forest here, to be honest. Like, that's really risky for them to charge in. And there's Grenadiers in here. There's lots of units in here for the Russians that can hold them at bay. There you go. The Russian Grenadiers blasting away. They don't care if they blast the Cossacks Corps. In go the Carabiniers. And it's getting messy down here in the forest. Yeah, I mean, the Cuirassiers heavy cav running through a forest. Not a great idea at all. Yeah, it looks like Tuchkov here is putting up a brave defense. He's doing what Tomasov couldn't do, and he's actually, you know, holding the line. Although we've got more Grenadiers going into melee. These guys red line, they might rout. No, they were orange line. They've rallied a bit. See how they do. I mean, if they can get these French to melee and on a large scale, they do a good amount of damage here. Yeah, more Grenadiers going in. Looks like the Pavlov Grenadiers also being sent in. Boys with the funny hats. Maybe they're going to try and preserve them. I don't know. Maybe they have no hope. They may have no hope. You go the lights. Into the lights they go. Let's see how they do. I mean, they could get side shot. Actually, probably not, to be honest. They're pretty safe. Lots of meleeing going down here. Cuirassiers look like they're being held, actually. They're in square of these grenadiers over here. Beautiful scenes, beautiful scenes. Russians fighting for life. Tuchkov here, broken. The grenadiers, St. Petersburg. Yeah, the French are just mopping up units in this forest here. Some of my troops are still trying to get out of here. The Morskoy, pretty healthy unit as well, but I think they're going to get cut off. As you can see here, they're not going to get out of here alive. Poor Swiss are going to probably cut them off. But a large amount of Russian troops are still getting out of here. Most of the troops that are retreated are getting out of here safely. Which is good to see, to be honest. And actually, yeah, you can see the Morskoy here. They're trying to get out of there. Don't know if they're going to achieve it. But I think that's Tuchkov's army sadly sacrificing this forest. Sad to see, but yeah, most of those, and they're going to get farmed like hell. I don't know anything purposefully, but they are just running across the French line of advance there, which is sad to see. And yeah, that is going to be a big setback now for the Russians. The Russians now racing back down this like this dirt track and going back for Smoliani. Nothing defending it so far, but the French could have been here already. It might be there already. We are looking from a Russian perspective. But yeah, they might be waiting back there. These French infantry definitely dashed to try and cut off the Russian army. Maybe some of the French cabs now waiting for them back there. Which, if that's the case, these Cossacks and stuff, they've definitely got a bit of a fight ahead of them before they can get back safely. But yeah, the Cossacks and all these light dragoons, they need to just be covering the rear lines of the Russians here, because the French still have some decent cav, and I think still have the Cuirassier. Yeah, the Cuirassier is still here, alive. So, like, they want to get this. They might just go dashing in at some point. We've got, yeah, light cav here, some Polish lancers. Looks like we've got more light cav here, more Chasseurs Cheval. They could all just start dashing in and trying to picking off Russian units, most of which can't form square. So yeah, Russia like needs protection from cavalry, and right now Tomasov right at the front of the formation, which is also good as well, because there's French cav sniffing around here, so much so that they're going to take out this light infantry. Which couldn't form square, didn't even turn around in time. But yeah, they need to have like a couple of cav units, maybe a dragoon, maybe a Cossack, just in amongst the retreating Russians here to stop the French cav from certainly even daring to charge forward. But as you can see, I mean, the French are advancing, blasting poor Russians as they run. Poor guy. I think some of these Russians even went in for a charge, and it looks like, yeah, they've got broken here. Yeah, Wittgenstein's, oh my gosh, this poor militia, yeah, just getting absolutely blasted. That is rough to see. That is rough to see. But yes, the Russians now in retreat. Can the French catch them? They should be able to, I'd have thought. Most of their units, I would imagine, are probably, you know, like an L4, L5. And just generally just have better speed. The French, like, that's typically what they have over the coalition. They move just so much quicker. They zip around. Don't know if we can get on this track. This track here. It might give them a road speed bonus. I imagine it does. With a little bit of one. That is a thing NTW3 does. I don't know if this track would technically count as a road. Yes. This is very much going a bit like in history, though. Like the first day one of Smoliani, the French had took casualties, but they did progress. They did break through. And we've got some Strelky here. They're running down a looks like a carabinier unit. Good to see. Get rid of them all. Get rid of them all. But yeah, then the Russians kind of got back to Smoliani in history, and they managed to hold there and beat back the French advance. Whether that will happen here, I don't know. The French seem to be in a really strong position right now. A lot of healthy units, like I said, Victor and Oudinot on this left flank here. Smash through Tomasov. I mean, they had the massive point advantage in fairness to Tomasov, but Tomasov also just kind of capitulated really quickly. Which is unfortunate. We maybe could have sent him a bit more support. Maybe Tuchkov could have been there with the Grenadiers, maybe strengthen the line. But yeah, we tried our play. It didn't quite pull off. It nearly did though. And here we go. Looks like we're going to see Cav go in. Looks like some Lancers, Polish Lancers being sent forward in their glorious yellow and blue uniforms. They're getting sent in. I think they're going in just for some of these Russians here. The Morskoy can form square though if they want to. Quite a few of these units actually. Actually, yeah, no. Apart from that Morskoy, nothing can really form square, but I think they are looking like they're going to go in. They're certainly angling up a shot. They might go in for all these line infantry over here, actually. Because they're pretty close to a French infantry advance, as you can see here. Might be able to just split through here, just kind of like get these 4 or 5 infantry units isolated and killed off. I think that is the objective. Here we go. There is also a cav just waiting here. Tomasov has dragoons just in the forest. He could be stopping this. No. And there you go. And gaps have been making as well. I think they're making a gap for Tomasov to get his men in there. Nope, he's not interested in the dragoons, and he's going in a little late now.
Your men have been routed,
and that's 2 infantry lost. Are they going to get another one? They might do it. All these guys can't form square. And yeah, Tomasov runs the wrong way. Where is he going? There you go. The dragoons, I think, are now engaged. Finally. Hold the line, boys. Hold the line. He is actually, you know, so yeah, I think he said that Ulan unit packing those Polish Ulans, and we're actually going to see infantry going into melee here for the Russians. Tomasov should just flank now, just help take out some of these French infantry units in melee. Russians there defeated though. Might be able to help with this one instead. I'll turn for a square. Tomasov did not go for the right unit there. The Dragoon has had a nightmare of a day. Yeah, there you go. Routed. It charged in earlier, got itself just killed off easily. And it's charged in again and just got itself killed off easily. We're pretty close to the red line, so that might just run over the red line in route. Sad to see there. But Lugan Roth here needs to keep moving forward. Keep retreating back to the defensive lines, boys. Gotta get back. Get out of here. The French keep coming. The French juggernaut is on its way. I mean, yeah, so many Russian units with orange and like red lining. It's not very Russian-like to be retreating like this. You know what they say in World War II? No step back, Order 226. 227. It might be 227, not 226. 227. I don't know what. Order 226 is probably something like every other man has a gun. And the other guy has a bullet. Yeah, look at this. They're all like all red lining and orange lining just when they're getting shot by the French. Pretty horrendous here. It's true, Dragoons might return. 49 of them left. They're running in the right direction to sort of re-rally. These guns, though, are getting back, and that's huge. 12-pounders being got back. They're an F4. Pretty speedy as well for a 12-pounder. Yeah, they're getting back, and there's a lot of Russians between them and the French, so yeah, they should be pretty safe. Looks like they're going to go for a melee charge here. Might get these more scoring. I think they're going to catch them, generally are, because the Morskoi are walking. And then you're going to get another Russian unit. I just can't stop the rot. It's awful. This one might get got here as well, I think. No, keep going, boys. Don't retreat. Don't go in there. Love the pathfinding from the Russians. They might get out of here. I don't know. They are redlining, orange lining, they're re-rallying. Thank God. We're going to need every man we can get for this last offensive. It's going to be a tough old scrap. Oh, and look at that. Tomasov here. Not moving his dragoons. Generals died, though. Enemy generals died. Oh, he got taken out here, it looks like, by Cossacks. Nice. A little Cossack unit there. Tomasov, you know, doing at least a bit of... might have lost a cav unit over there, just getting blasted. Those dragoons. They actually managed to take out a cav unit. A general, sorry. These Cossacks. Not bad. And actually got his gunner as well. Very nice. So that might make a big difference. That might make a bit of a difference. I don't know if it's the Oudinot that's still got a lot of troops or whether it's the other one. But that's a good result there. No Russian generals have died yet. What's going on over here? Oh yeah, this Strelki that I had in the back lines getting taken out by Swiss Grenadiers of all things. Yeah, that's not going to be an easy fight for them. Swiss Grenadiers, though, my gosh, their uniforms are beautiful. But yeah, it looks like most of the Russian army that is still in the field should get back in one piece. Though this Morskoi here, Third Eye Morskoi, doesn't feel like it wants to get back in one piece, that's for sure. And a lot of these units, you've got to think, these Morskoi, they're G3s. They're Grenadiers. This is good to have them left at the end. That's for sure. Big Wittgenstein units here as well, actually. Estonian line infantry. Gonna need those boys. They are, yeah, big chunky units here, so like in their hundreds. They might be useful. And yeah, now we've got to defend around this this point here, the 4-point farmhouse. We've got to hold this. That is the objective, to hold. They've got to storm that, take it. Can't blow it up with cannons. They've got to take it and hold at the French. See whether they can do it. Still a lot of Russian cav still sniffing about, even though a lot of it's been blasted. The Smoliani dragoons here, they already got blasted once. We've still got another like combat gen healthy. Literally has not lost a man. Combat gen there, dragoon, and then we've also got some Cossacks over here, and they are dashing off to the flank. Doesn't seem like the French players have noticed these weren't hidden, so the French players should be sending something to sort of shadow them. Some light cav, whether they have, I don't know. We can't see anything sort of here. But yeah, the Cossacks here, they're shifting, and they can just keep going all the way round. Then they could look for options for generals, which aren't really any at the moment. Oh, more cav coming in, and again, managed to get some of my infantry. Managed to rout another Morskoy here. This one hopefully can get back. It's 90-man unit left. Now in comes Tomasov. And he might rout the cav. He's at least going to save my infantry, thank God. But yeah, that was unfortunate there. Literally this third eye Morskoy. It literally walked all this way and nearly got back, and then the French lights was like, denied. You're not getting back. Dushkov here, he's in the front lines. He's got no army left, but he's like, ah, screw it. I'll fight and die with my men. Here we go, the line has been formed. Most of these troops here are actually my troops. These have been in since the very beginning. I actually don't even know if these militia have ammo. They might honestly just be stood in the front line, just absorb bullets. That's what they do. That's what the Russians do. What have we got here? Some Strelki. They're just getting charged. Building occupied, that'll be that 4-point just being occupied for the Russians. I've actually got a Logan Roth over here. Re-rallied. This bad boy might be able to cause some havoc. He also is squareable, so he might be able to, yeah, sneak in. If not, might have to. Oh yeah, we got. Look at this Russian line infantry looking for the smallest gap to try and get back to friendly lines. I don't think they're going to make it, sadly. I think these French here are going to try and run them down, and they'll get them off the map. But we've got troops inside the building now. We've got Logan Roth, another Logan Roth, and Stefan Denisov with Jaegers. Yeah, so they've stacked the building full of troops. Artillery's on the road here, and the 12-pounders are starting to pound away. And yeah, already putting holes into this Oudinot unit. My gosh, yeah, really nice shots. And they'll do the damage that needs to be done there. So yeah, things to keep a note of is that Cossack unit back there, that is sniffing about looking for stuff. It's artillery wheeling up. Could possibly go for that. And the sappers, I bet they can't form squares, so they could be vulnerable to a Cossack charge. A lot of generals here as well. That's a good target for the Cossacks. You know, that's the prime thing that a Cossack is good to go in for. Quick slap dash in, take out a general, get out of there as quickly as possible. But there you go, opening volleys from the Russians. Evidently some of them still have ammo. Oh, these militia still have ammo. Excellent. Excellent. We're going to need every round we can get, boys. Keep putting them into these Frenchies over here. The French are actually trying to cover, take some cover with one of their units. Very cheeky. Whether they can then fire into the side, I don't know. There you go. My infantry is starting to run out of ammo already. I think this is this one on the flank here, the Perm. Literally don't think they are firing any more shots. They might be firing a couple, but maybe nothing. They're reloading, and they're ready to fire again. Don't think they have anything in the tank though. Been here since the very beginning. Absolute legends. Gotta respect that. Yeah, I think they can replace here actually by the first eye and more scoring. Which is good to see. And there you go, this French infantry like coming out into the bloom is gonna get shot right in the face by the militia. And orange lining, like that. Look at that, very good. Getting blasted by that, yeah, 3 or 4 units. This flank over here, I feel like this is the better option for the French to try and put pressure on. A bit more open, not having to try and fight between houses, and potentially could use their cav because you can use the troops there on the flanks for the Russians. The Kirasi is still very much alive. Very much still alive, and this building works quite well, or this village works quite well because you can't really flank around it. It is almost just like a head-on assault. Once you get to this position that we're kind of in, Oudinot and Victor have no choice but to do a frontal assault, like in history, where they just make a frontal assault and keep just bludgeoning the Russian defenses with French conscripts and Allied conscripts. And they're just going to see if they can get their way through. Right now it seems like this left-hand side being a bit more passive. Whether they can, I think they're going to try it actually. Whether they're going to get this infantry unit here, I think they're going to try and go through the gap of this building and go for the guns. I think that's the play that the French commander's got up his sleeve. And it might work, you know. The Russians here, they might need to push forward with the Estonia, try and cut that off. Don't allow that. We'll send the cav forward.
This building has fallen to the enemy.
Building's fallen to the enemy. Well, it's all well and good. It doesn't really matter. But yeah, here we go. I think actually the Russians, they're going to go for it. The artillery crew is actually leaving. Cavalry is sent in as well to support the infantry. And they just kind of run into Russian Jaeger down here. They don't think they bother about that. The Dragoons are coming forward as well. Whether they're going to go dash down the street, go for something, whether they're just coming up to support. There's no real need for them here. With the Russian gun crew getting out there safely, not needed. There you go. Actually managed to rout both these guys, units of the Jaeger there. Incredible stuff. The guns can get back on their 12-pounders. They can try and blast the building again. It's actually because the guns aren't manning the guns. The gunners aren't manning the guns. They managed to get infantry into the building here, but they immediately, the French break, being blasted as they come forward. They're going to need something good to go in. And Russian Cav is in the back lines. Russian Cav has gone in. We kind of missed it. It dashed in from this direction here, and it is charged in. And now they are trying to assassinate generals. I don't think they've got either of them. They certainly routed both of them, and they're now trying to rout infantry, and they actually might achieve this. Getting a couple of units here. And with it being shot in the face and Cossacks in the back, French lines are starting to crumble a little bit. There you go. It kind of like did its job. They got two of the generals though. They didn't kill them. I think they just routed them. Unfortunately, you see the general's bodyguard running off here on their white horses. They are running. And now the French are very angry. They are trying to make that last push. Keep going for the building, boys. Keep going. Keep shooting and shooting away. I mean, somehow these militias still have ammo. Somehow. In comes more cav. Looks like it got countered here by dragoons. Ulans again. I don't know if they ran through their own gunners. I don't think they did. I think the gun crew again has been fallen back to safety. Again, sending the lancers packing. And here we go. Looks like Oudinot is getting ready for an all-out assault. Shifting his infantry back into position. I feel like this needs to be they can do an assault here. I mean, they're going to have to try this. I mean, not that they know that most of my men have literally no ammo. Or are nearing running out. I mean, I guess a prolonged gunfight works for the French in that case, because, yeah, I'm about to run out of ammo. We'll see. We'll see. Hold this line. A thin green line being held. Nothing else really going on that right-hand side. It looks like if anything's going to happen, it's going to be here. Especially with the French getting right up close to the column. I was going to say, go in now. The Jaeger is like open for the taking. There you go. Wow, they broke immediately. I think they're getting side-shot from the building. They immediately broke. Whether they've lost their general, that's insane. The cover fire coming in from they're supporting the Russian line here is actually insane. Some of my Russians are breaking the perm. They have no ammo though. So they were just there absorbing shots anyway. And as you can see, look at this. Lots of units starting to break here. Swiss units starting to go. And it's causing a bit of disarray, to be honest. Back over on this side here. Again, the line fight just taking place. Looks like this Oudinot causing a lot better of a situation. French being sent in once again. Oh, nope, they're retreating. Yeah, they rout. Turn their back and they rout. Look at that. And the French actually routing troops. I think they're going back and forth. That's the issue. The whole pathfinding there is actually causing other units to rout because there's just routing men all around them. That's really unfortunate. There's so much of a threat on this side here. The skirmishers are getting routed. I mean, they're a bit close to the line infantry. They should be a bit further back. They'd probably be safe from the line shots. Russia looks like he's going to push forward here. I mean, I don't blame them. These guys are orange lining, red lining. Give it a go. These two are open for the taking. there's still quite a lot of reserves back here for the French. Like the Russians cannot move forward yet. There's still a lot of reserves. We've got the Portuguese Legion by the looks of it. We've got Swiss, yeah, more French coming forward. Still is a general here as well, Victor's general. So some of these French units got good morale still, that have still got their skin in the game. And it's a very tenuous sort of game at this point now. And we're looking penned in the corner, as you can see there. The blue is the Russians, the red is the French. They're just literally got no space, nowhere to move. War of attrition. I think the Russians are losing slightly in the end in these gunfights. More men running out of ammo. Yeah, most of the... it's a bit 50-50 maybe on if they're winning these combats, actually, gunfights of the Russians. Yeah, they're winning some of them, losing some others. So 50-50. The French certainly don't seem like they're winning when it comes to the morale battle. Russians seem like they're standing a lot stronger. I mean, the Russians could potentially push up, but they're in a pretty strong position. There's no need to. Here come the French once again. And now it looks like maybe they're going to move forward. I think they're keeping a lot of these troops back here just to protect Victor. Like, Victor is just kind of open. Like, if they push forward, they're maybe worried about another Russian cav coming in. There's no more Russian cav back here. Got lots of random French troops going to the front line, like skirms that have been left at the back. Here we go, though. I think we're going to see a cuirassier push. I think, unfortunately, at this moment, I think the French player did crash. That was like playing this Oudinot call. I think he crashed. So his cav just starts going for wild charges and charges the again here. Now I think he's going to get it killed. So that's not on the player. That's just unfortunate. It just like kind of crashes there. They have charged in. Maybe got pinned a little bit to that cuirassier. I don't really know. I mean, they charged in the Morskoi fired. I don't really know if they got pinned or what. But yeah, there you go. In they go. They're actually causing a lot of units now to rout because the cuirassier is running back through the infantry lines. They probably could advance there actually. And try and just take out those units if they wanted to with the Russians. And I think we're about to see, I think this is more of the other part of that Uno Corps now racing across the road. They're going to get blasted here by guns in a moment. Get out of the road! There's 12 pounders on the road! There you go. Actually, I think they missed. I missed there. Don't throw on cat. Oh my gosh, that was nasty! That was brutal. That might rout that unit, you know. I'm surprised it did not. How did that not? How did that stand? Like half the unit went flying. This is where it's all ended up. Look at these poor guys. Getting blasted. They're going to make a storm for the building. Here come the French once again. Quite a big French unit here. Oh, this might be two actually. That's why it looks so big. They're going to go in. They're going to go in for melee. They're going to test the Russian line. You get a break immediately. A lot of these units can't fire though that they're going into melee with, so they can't get a volley off. French break there. But, can they hold the Russians? Can they hold? Yeah, these guys might break. Oh, they did break, but they broke the Russians first. It's kind of incredible. Oh, so they broke the French first. You can go the Swiss, they might catch this unit that's redlining around that. But it looks like they're kind of holding okay at the moment. The Morskoi are doing a great job. We've got the militia going in here. They're routing stuff. Some of the militia still breaking. They managed to rout some of these Frenchies. In go. It looks like, yeah, Wittgenstein's infantry going in. Yeah, and look at that. A mass rout from the French. Really nice to see. Absolutely brutal. This last stand has been brutal, and I mean, it's an incredible last stand. The Russians have barely anything left. The French, yeah, I think unfortunately they lost their general to those Cossack in that Cossack charge, and also the crash. Two pretty devastating points. They kind of destroyed their game, but that's how a game goes. You got to sometimes protect yourself from random Cossack charges. Can't help but crashes. That's unfortunate. I can't really explain for that. But the Cossacks. Going in and getting those two generals. I think that was quite costly for this flank over here. And now look at this Dragoons descending, the Tomasov Dragoons and Wittgenstein Dragoons descending on this massive French, and they're going to farm the heck out of that, I think. shame. There you go, another general lost. I think that might be all the French generals gone now, actually. Either routed or dead. So I think they're just going to make sure that all these guys stay gone. And Wittgenstein there is just, running down and getting some of these infantry units, which is good on him. Get this game over and done with. Hack and slash him, boys. Take him out. Take him out. Swiss Grenadiers didn't even get into play. I don't know. They just I think they just routed there, which they didn't even get sent in. I think the perfect unit for storming that building. Whether they didn't have a general and they didn't want to send them in. But yeah, that was unfortunate. You got the Tomahawk Dragoons going over here, helping around more stuff. More infantry getting knocked out of the game. I mean, these over there on this side here, they just kind of mass charged in, and ended up getting themselves blasted here by the Wittgenstein line infantry. And that looks like it's going to be a GG. So I'm just going to fast forward to the end results for you guys. And yeah, hopefully we get some. We should have the end results at the end. I mean, I'm pretty sure from my record, I think I have the most kills. I've been in the fight the longest. Incredibly, yeah, like my army somehow survived. I was quite impressed with my result, having to like fight in a 2v1 to start with, and then still surviving to the very end. I was quite happy. Quite happy with my performance in today's game. And I don't often play the Russians, but yeah, didn't do a bad job. Honestly, wish I brought more of the militia. Though they kind of spend their ammunition very quickly. You can bring so many of them, and they're really cheap. So yeah, I was quite impressed with their result, with their performance. And yeah, I think all we're now waiting for is this Tomahawk Dragoon here, which is nearly getting friendly fire by 12-pounders. Got to go and take out that last unit there. And we should then have the end results appear on our screen. I think just a lucky Laguerre that for some reason was left back at the back. I wouldn't have left this. I mean, the French were taking LOCs, fair enough. But yeah, I would have been like, we need every man to this front line. It's a dire situation. There you go. Volleys going in. And Dragoons in the last charge get a hammer and anvil going on. Sandwich. A French sandwich with Dragoons on either side. For the bread. And there you go. That should be, I think, every unit gone for the French now. Very, very nice. And there you go. We should have the end results on the screen for you. I can't see them, but I'm pretty sure if I remember rightly, I get the most kills. I did farm a little bit with the infantry, but honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if I got most of my kills, like, just in a normal gunfight. I was there from the very beginning to the very end with my units. Some of mine have incredible chevrons. We'll have a look at the unit stats now and have a look at those. I mean, yeah, my Morsky, 268 kills. Jaeger, 250 kills, basically. 236 kills with the Morsky. Strelky, 212, and they were the ones fighting in the building, I'm pretty sure. Morsky 202, 162 kills with the Perm, which ran out of ammo and then routed. The Jaeger 152 kills. Another one of the Perm here might have been that one that had no ammo in the end. Who knows? St. Petersburg, like militia, 125 kills. Insane. The Morsky 119. Logan Roth getting 114. I think I kind of threw him away at the end. He should have got more kills. We got Mikhail, Bolke, the Dragoons getting 106 kills, and then the Hussars 98. But yeah, there are the rest of the kills. If you want to have a look at all of those, some incredible kills there for the Morsky, that's for sure. The Morskoy. But there you go, guys. That is today's battle. The Battle of Smoliani did go down as it did in history. The Russians were pushed back hard, but they held on without Russian iron resolve, and they held on to the very end there at Smoliani in that town defense. I hope you did enjoy this one. If you did, do remember to leave a like, subscribe if you're around here, and a comment show your support. If you ever want to get involved in any of these glorious battles like this one, do feel free to join the Discord. Like I said, we stream NTW3 every Monday. If you want to get involved in a stream battle, you know what to do. Join the Discord. Get yourself the NTW3 roll. And if you want to see more glorious battles, do check out the ones appearing on your screen now. But until next time, guys, I'll see you later.